This episode of Rookie Hunter is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation. Adventures in sheep country can change your life, and as residents of BC, we're very fortunate to have 3 different species of sheep in our province. After attending the Wild Sheep Foundation's annual convention, Sheep Show, in Reno, Nevada, we got to see what conservation looks like firsthand. The Wild Sheep Foundation's ability to raise and put millions of dollars on the ground each year to keep these majestic animals on the mountaintops worldwide is unmatched. The Wild Sheep family is a diverse group of people from all walks of life, and membership is open to anyone. Whether you're a seasoned pro, it's your first time on the mountain, or you just like to see sheep on the hillside, you can sign up and join today. Kelly and I are lifetime members, but you can become an annual member for just $45. You can also become a member of the Less Than One Club, which is the only club you want to get kicked out of. If you've never taken a North American or international ram, you can join us in the Less Than One Club for an extra $25. Plus, Less Than One Club membership also includes entry into a draw for 3 separate Doll sheep hunts, which will be given away at Sheep Show in 2019. For more information on the Wild Sheep Foundation and to become a member, head over to thewildsheepfoundation.org. Hey, welcome to episode 93 of Rookie Hunter. We're back from Reno. We've recovered from the weekend. Kelly gave us an awesome performance in the backpack race. If you'd like to see him sliding face first across the carpet, you can head over to our Instagram page, the Rookie Hunter Podcast, to check that one out. Today on the show, we've got Mr. Gray Thornton. He was kind enough to give us about a half hour out of his busy schedule. As you can imagine, the Sheep Show is probably the busiest weekend of his year, so very grateful to Gray for spending some time with us, talking about the event, the Wild Sheep Foundation, and he gave us some pretty good advice for our sheep hunt in August. Hope you guys enjoy this one. We'll talk a bit more about the misadventures of the Sheep Show when we get together, but next week we're going to have an interview we captured with Shane Mahoney. You've heard him on the podcast before. He's with Conservation Visions. And I guarantee you're going to want to check out another kick-ass story from him at the end of that episode. So look forward to that one in episode 94. A fitting episode for you to go over to the wildsheepfoundation.org and become a member. If you're knifeless and you need something for the upcoming hunting season, bear season's not that far away for us, actually. But head over to North Arm Knives, they're northarmknives.com. Well, let's get into this episode. Sit back, relax, crack a cold beer, and enjoy episode 93 with Gray Thornton. Welcome. I think this is your 3rd appearance.
I think so, yeah. And I think it's my first appearance in the U.S. I seem to be.
I think so, yeah.
Right? I seem to be doing in the Great White North, which I quite frankly love. So
yeah. Perfect. We're in your territory this time.
Yeah.
And we're not in a hotel, which is nice.
No. Yeah, we're up here in the mezzanine of the Wild Sheep Foundation's 42nd convention. We're looking down on a show floor with lots of people and kind of right at our raffle booth where our ticket sellers are selling away. So we're raising money for wild sheep conservation.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Awesome. And it looks busy down there. Everybody's always excited to come and see the show and all the vendors. And there's some, folks that we all know that we've seen on TV and in podcasts, and we all get to talk to them. It's a good time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And it's just, and it's a family, it's just a family atmosphere. I was talking to an old friend that I hadn't seen in a long time. And he was talking about the other shows, and we got some great shows in our industry and great conventions. But he was saying, there's just a feeling about the Sheep Show.
Yeah.
And then it was also funny. He says, he tells some of his outfitter friends, he says, never judge a book by its cover. There might be some guy in a dirty T-shirt and coveralls, and he's worth $150 million. So know what? Yeah. Just smile, shake his hand, and have a good time.
Yeah, totally. That's one of the cool things. It's such a cool mix of people. You've got all types here. And you guys always talk about the sheep family, and last year was our first year coming to this event, and we knew a couple of people. But now we were coming. This is our 2nd year.
Yeah.
We're running into people all over the place right now. So it's a very welcoming community of people. So it's been awesome.
Young and old, and lots of women we noticed this year too.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, we've got actually the ladies' lunch is going on right now. But much more beyond a ladies' lunch. We don't have a separate category membership wise for men and women. It's just a member. I mean, you're a member of the Wild Sheep Foundation. We do have a ladies' lunch, but we have just started, which is really exciting, and a great Albertan is leading it. Renee Haloon from Calgary, Alberta, has taken on an initiative that our chairman and she had talked about in July called the Women in Hunting Initiative. And there's actually going to be a seminar, and she's got a diverse panel of ladies tomorrow, Saturday, 8 to noon. Or I'm sorry, 11 to noon. But it's interesting, we here on Rookie Hunter, we're trying to break down barriers to get in to the hunting and the conservation community. Well, we're 3 men here. We already got to step up, unfortunately. Because it's a little easier for us to do that. So you start looking at some of the challenges that a woman coming into this community, if there's not, a mother that hunts or an uncle who hunts or an aunt that hunts or a great grandma, whatever. And so Renee and her committee are working on ways to break down those barriers. Very cool. Find good mentors and ongoing mentors, not one in and done. And there's a lot of great programs out there, Becoming Outdoors Women, and all those fabulous programs. But this is not what we're trying to do. We're not going to duplicate some other great programs. What we're trying to do is actually look at some of the sociological sides of it, and come up with a kind of a new dynamic, because we talk constantly about women being the fastest growing segment of our community, and we need them. We need them as conservationists. We need them as stewards. So let's find a way to make it easier for them to join us. So join other women, join other men.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
Well, we just walked by the lunch, and I think the doors were closed, but you
Sound
can
like they're
hear
having fun,
there's a big party in there. It sounded like.
Yeah, it's a tailgate party, so they're eating hot dogs and,
Nice.
and burgers and
Nice.
playing football games. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
they're all having a good time.
Very cool. One thing I don't think we've talked about with you is the history of Sheep Show. Where did this get started?
I think this is our 42nd.
Wow.
I've been here 11 years, so I don't have, I think the first was in Nashville.
Okay.
That's a perfect place for wild sheep, of course, but had a show in Nashville. The foundation, funny enough, was actually formed in Mount Horeb, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So, not a big sheep state. And then it was incorporated in Iowa, and then 30 some odd years ago moved to Wyoming, and then it came to Bozeman, where our headquarters are now. But the sheep show has been going on for, as I said, 42 years. Most of them are in Reno. We've had, argument's sake, 35 or so, maybe 32 in Reno. The show's been in San Diego, Phoenix, Nashville, Philadelphia, Hawaii.
Wow.
A couple times in San Antonio, and then 3 years in Salt Lake City, Utah. We were partnered with a couple other organizations there. But Reno's our home.
Okay.
It works well for us. We fill the Reno Sparks Convention Center. Every single hall is filled with our activities. We're looking down on Hall 1 with all our exhibit booths and our raffles and our bars. Hall 2 and 3, we have our Lesson 1 club that's going to go on in just a couple of hours. We've got our membership booth. We've got a societies lounge, our store, our silent auction. And then second time in our history, we have a tattoo parlor. So you can ride for the brand. We've got all 4 North American records of wild sheep as skull art. We just got the new Rocky Mountain Bighorn from the pickup from Wild Horse Island, 216 3/8. We've got some U art, so if a lady wants to put a U, and then we even got some petroglyph art. So
nice. Are you getting another tattoo this year?
I don't know if you should even say I have one. I got one last year. I got the Chadwick ram off my right shoulder, and I think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to stick with one.
Before we came down, actually, I was talking to some friends up in BC, and they were wondering, what would be involved in then coming down? How accessible is it to just anybody that's a member, right? And they may maybe they're not going to go to the banquets and get a table and stuff, but what else?
Sure.
Is everything else open to them?
Absolutely. The entire show is open to the public. Admission to the sheep show is only $20.
Yeah.
And then just down the street, we've got Sportsman's Warehouse. You can pick up $5 off coupon. So, it's only $15 if you got the coupon per day. And interesting enough, you're entered into just your daily admission. You're entered into some floor credit drawings. And at about 3:30 this afternoon, they're going to wheel a big tumbler over there, and there'll be probably 2,000-3,000 people surrounding our raffle area.
Nice.
Thursday, we gave 5 $1,000 floor credits today, $1,000 floor credits. Today, we're going to give away 2 $2,500 floor credits. And tomorrow we give away one $5,000 floor credit. Now, what is a floor credit? A floor credit is basically sheep bucks, where the Sheep Foundation will cover your chit. So you get $2,500 today. You walk over to Paparazzi Furs and go, I'd like to take that $2,500 fur coat home to my girlfriend or my bride or whatever, and you hand him that little chit, and he comes to us, and we pay the bill. So pretty cool deal.
Very cool.
You got to be present to win, so there's no one not hanging around down there. They're looking to win some money. So great program. But, it's an accessible and friendly show. And, I kind of joked about the guy that talked about the $150 million. That's obviously an oddity. You look around where, there's regular folks like the three of us.
Yeah.
And that's really what the sheep show is all about. What I like is it's a bunch of young people too.
Totally. Yeah.
We've got a 3D archery shoot going on right now, sponsored by Mountain Ops. We did a backpack trail race on Thursday morning, which was really cool.
We talked to the winner.
Yeah.
He was limping a little bit.
Was he limping a little bit? Tonight, we're going to do the indoor backpack trail race, and it's a great way to...
It's my turn.
Yeah, great way to get drunk and get hurt.
Yeah.
And of course, starting at 4:00, we've got our Less Than One Club drawing. And the Less Than One Club we've talked about in the past. It's just a fabulous way to get into our community. One of my staff years ago was thinking, I guess it was 2012, and he goes, what are these? There's all these programs for people that have 1, 2, 3 or more sheep, but what about a program for a guy or gal that has less than one sheep, which means they've taken 0.
Yeah.
And I said, what a great idea. And he came up, he's a fabulous graphic designer. So he came up with a cool logo, the Less Than One Club.
Yep.
It started in 2000.
Represent.
Yeah, there you go. You've gotten it.
Still in the club.
You're wearing it, loving it. And it's the only club that you join, you want to get kicked out of.
Exactly.
And you get kicked out when you take your first ram.
Yeah.
And so what we do is we try to help you get your first ram. So it's only $25 to join the Less Than One Club. You get a cool T-shirt. And then you come to our reception here. And last year we went through 25 kegs of beer in 2 hours. So you can imagine the fun that's going on there. And we're going to give away 3 doll sheep hunts.
Nice.
At the Less Than One Club.
Very cool.
Going to be fun.
Are they BC and Alaska? Or?
We've got one NWT and 2 Alaska. So one Brooks range, 1 Alaska range, and then 1 in NWT.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Very cool.
So great situation. Pretty good odds. I mean, we have about 1,200 people in the Less Than One Club, and you've got a 1 in 3. I got 3 chances to win. So what's that? 300 and 1 in 300 or so.
Yeah, something like that.
Trying to do my math on the fly here, but the first we draw, you don't have to be present to win, and then the second 2 you do. What's cool is the last couple of years, every single one has been in the room. I mean, they just you just don't want to miss it.
Yeah. I remember last year, there was somebody winning within like a 10-foot radius of yourself. Right?
Right on.
Like they're just, it's me.
Yeah. And the energy is so electric.
It is.
And somebody was telling me the other day, which it really made me feel good. He goes, what's so cool about the Less Than One Club is you're happy, even if it's not you being drawn. You're so stoked for that young guy or gal that's, winning their first sheep hunt. Because you just hope, someday that might be me.
It's true.
But it is. Everyone's just happy for, the energy, and just a great event.
Definitely. Nice. Anything else related to the event that you want to cover?
Just that there's really something for everyone down, here. We focus primarily on North America, and we've got more sheep and mountain hunting outfitters than really any other show. I know Guide Outfitters Association of BC, Scott Ellis had told me a couple of years ago, he counts how number of his members that are here, and the Sheep Show brings the most BC members. So, there in BC, you're going to find your friends here. We're very Canada centric, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because it's part of our heritage. We opened our show Wednesday night with our procession of the colors, and the colors to us are the flags of Mexico, Canada, and the USA.
Very cool.
And we bring them up on stage, and then we had a wonderful lady from Mexico sing the Mexican national anthem, and had a great British Columbian singing the Canadian national anthem.
Cool.
A guy from Nebraska singing the U.S. national anthem.
Awesome.
So we're all one big happy family in North America,
Yeah.
and focus on it.
Good. So Kelly and I have our first, technically our first sheep hunt booked for August. We're going to do a fly-in.
All right, Mike.
So
Yeah,
we're
picked our lake.
pretty excited about it.
Very cool.
We're wondering if you have advice for us as we head up there.
You know what? Mental preparation.
Yeah.
Mental preparation. It's interesting. My first sheep hunt was in 2000, and I went to Alaska. I was living in Dallas, Texas at the time. I wasn't mentally prepared, and admittedly, I wasn't physically
Right.
prepared. So, everyone talks about the physical preparation, and to me, it's hiking.
Yep.
You can stair step. You can do all. You know what? If you can find, some hill with a 300-meter elevation gain, and you do that every single night or every single morning, and my goal is to climb at least 40,000 feet. So in 40 days prior to a hunt. And it's really helped me. But the other side of that coin is that mental preparation.
Right.
You've got to, you got to be prepared. If you're physically prepared, and you look at that other ridge, you go, you know what? We don't see sheep here. We're going to go there.
Right.
And you need the mental toughness for that.
Yeah.
So, sometimes I have it, sometimes I don't. I was talking to my great friend on my first successful, if you want to say that taking a ram is success. I mean, I yes, that obviously is one side of it, but just sheep hunting is a success.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know the three of us in this room know that, feel that. But it was funny. I mean, the day that I ended up getting my ram, it was just dogging me. Yeah, and Jack looks at me and goes, you know what? Sometimes you feel like a diamond, and sometimes you feel like a rock. And that day, for whatever, I'd slept bad, and I felt like a rock. But the mental toughness kicked in. I said, man, if I don't get up there, I'm not getting that ram. And we'd seen the ram.
Right.
We finally got on, and I got my first sheep, and I just cried like a baby. So obviously, use good equipment. Boots are critical.
Yeah.
Optics are critical. There's great companies that are here on the sheep show floor that you can, lightweight backpacks, all the goodies and all the trinkets. Use a rifle that you're comfortable with. I mean, all the standards. But I think the biggest piece of advice is make sure that you've got yourself in shape, and then be mentally prepared to push yourself beyond what you usually do.
Perfect.
That's some good advice right there.
It is. Yeah.
So
August 18th.
good for you, man.
Yeah.
Good luck. I'm
Can't
gonna. Do you guys bring an inReach, one of those DeLormes? Okay.
Yeah, we'll have a couple of those. We'll have all this stuff too.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
right
we're
on.
going to be a smaller version of this anyway, so
Cool.
we can record the whole thing. And
Oh, right on.
yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So
Well, I'm going to be looking forward to a DeLorme text from you guys, and
we'll get you in there.
shut off your location services on there. I don't want to see where you are, but I look forward to a ram down test. So that would be really cool.
perfect.
Cool.
We
We'll
maybe
do
we
that.
could get rid of these shirts. at
Yeah,
some
then you
point.
got to put some red tape over that Lesson One Club. Get kicked out.
Yeah. Sounds good. We'll keep you posted.
Sounds
Excellent. Cool. Anything you want to add before we wrap up?
Just appreciate the opportunity to be on Rookie Hunter. You guys are great. We're a proud sponsor. I'm proud to support this great podcast. Really love what you guys are doing. The key is let's get new young men and women out there, because we need those men and women conservationists. And whether you're hunting deer, caribou, moose, black bear, wild sheep, we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
We're all in the same boat. And, we're also getting organic protein in our bodies, which is pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
I like to know where my meat comes from. I shot a bison this year.
Nice.
It was a management hunt for a 2-year-old. And I mean, I've got a freezer full of bison.
Wow.
And I share it with my family and share it with friends, and it's just superb. So,
yeah, there's nothing better than that.
isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Kind of a final thought on the meat, and I don't know if I'd mentioned this before on a previous podcast, but chatting with Shane Mahoney, the great Newfoundlander, great orator, and he's got these little tidbits, and here's one that I thought was pretty cool. He says, have you ever talked to anyone that goes into a supermarket in Calgary or in Vancouver or in Port St. John's and goes and buys a ham and then walks over to the neighbor and go, hey, I want to give you half my ham? And I go, no. But you know what? If you take a nice deer, you're happy to share.
Yeah.
And it's a big part of it. Or, if you got a couple birds, it's a big part of why we hunt. And so I think you guys capture that, and we're just proud to be a part of this great program.
Well, yeah, thanks for taking the time with us today. I know you're busy.
Yeah.
Actually, we had a couple of questions that listeners wrote in on. One of them was, maybe we'll just cover the one. But how do you keep yourself going through this week? They said you're a machine, so.
Somebody asked me that, and then I jokingly said, that old Grateful Dead song, "Living on Reds, Vitamin C, and Cocaine." But, I think in my case, it's living on vitamin C, very little sleep, and maybe a wee bit of wine and whiskey.
There you go.
No cocaine in my body. But, it is an adrenaline high. So it's actually nice to sit down with you guys and just chill a little bit and talk about the show. But it's an adrenaline high. But you're doing good work. So it just, we love it. The staff at the Wild Sheep Foundation are just the most dedicated team that I'm so blessed to work with. Our volunteers are passionate. So how I keep going is drinking a lot of water and knowing that we're doing good work, and knowing too that these 3 days and 4 nights make our entire year. Last year, Wild Sheep Foundation directed $5.6 million U.S. to wild sheep restoration, conservation, advocacy, and education programs. $5.6 million. That's with a membership of 7,500.
Yeah.
So if you do the math there, it's about $700 per member per year, that year. That we put into mission programs, and I don't know any other organization that can claim that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
$45 to join as a member, and we're gonna add another $600 to that to get to that $700, and put that on sheep restoration, whether it's disease sampling in British Columbia or doing some burns in Alberta, doing some work up in Yukon or Northwest Territories or down on the lower 48. I was just down in Mexico, and we released 21 desert bighorn sheep out of a fence facility in Sonora into a free range, 50,000 hectare, no fenced area. And that's one part of our Mexico initiative.
Very cool.
In Sonora, interesting enough, about 50% of their desert bighorn sheep, they've got about 7,500 to 8,000 desert bighorn sheep in Sonora, Mexico. About 50% of them are behind wire. Wild Sheep Foundation is a free-range, fair chase advocacy organization. So we understand what they're doing down there. We don't allow rams taken in enclosures to be entered into our awards program or qualify for FNAWS. But what we do see is that our friends in Sonora, Mexico are using those facilities to then repatriate desert bighorn sheep to other areas. We've got desert bighorn sheep moved back into Chihuahua, back into Coahuila, and they're now in free range. And 10 years later, you've got you brought in 60 sheep, and now you got 600. Right. Now they're wild sheep, and so we recognize it, and just an exciting part of the program. But I was down there, and I was actually doing an interview with a Spanish station down there, and we're able to fund the work that we did down there and that release because of this show. Right. So that's what keeps me going.
Awesome. Well, leave it at that.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Thank
you very much. Appreciate it.
This episode of Rookie Hunter was also brought to you by North Arm Knives. North Arm Knives are handcrafted and sold directly through a father and son team right here in British Columbia. Choose from a selection of outdoor knives, kitchen knives, and custom engravings from northarmknives.com. They ship internationally and guarantee all of their work. Kelly and I have put their products to the ultimate test and give them our stamp of approval. Head over to northarmknives.com.